What a goal from Patrik Schick. Absolutely scintillating, a wonder goal. Maybe already the goal of the tournament. Scotland lose 2-0 against the Czech Republic. What a game. Really entertaining game. Both sides tried to win at times. They both had really good moments in the match. Scotland probably should have got themselves on the score sheet. If we're being absolutely honest, they hit the post at times. Shea Adams missed a really, really good opportunity to make it 2-1 when they were 2-0 down. Scotland were in the game. There's no doubt. You'd see that if you watched it statistically. 18 shots from Scotland in that match. They're just 10 from the Czech Republic. Only 4 on target, though. And today, if you ever needed reminding, today was the day. If you ever needed that reminder to be sent out to you, today is the day. And it's all you ever really need to know in these circumstances, that outputs matter. Outputs matter in football, because when you go through that game, Scotland were there or thereabouts. I thought it was, in terms of technical ability on the ball, I feel the Czech Republic slightly better, but nearly 60% of the ball with Scotland, almost double the amounts of shots on goal, better pass completion, almost double the amount of chances created in the game. But it was about the outputs, the final ball, those final passes, putting the ball in the back of the net when it matters the most is what was missing today from Scotland's performance. And excellent win for the Czechs. Of course, the Czechs considered third favourites in the group. They get themselves those all-important 3 points. They play Croatia next. England-Scotland on Friday is built up to be an excellent game now. And I still haven't changed my mind. This group is still massively open for any one of the 4 teams to get through. I think England have got, winning that opening game, they're almost a certainty to go through now. I can't imagine England losing their final 2 games, if I'm being honest. Scotland, although they lost 2-0 today, I still wouldn't completely and utterly write them off. Be a silly thing to do in football, there's no doubt. But if their goals, if they're finishing, if that clinical touch, if their outputs don't improve, they're going to be in trouble. As I say, 18 shots on goal, 14 chances created in the game, superior pass completion, superior possession. And they weren't even opened up too many times. But both sides opened each other up. The difference was when the Czech Republic got those opportunities, and today it was Patrik, I think it's pronounced like Schick. He was excellent. Great header for his first goal from a wonderful cross. And I'm so glad I'm so glad that I had Sufal in my fantasy football team. We'll take a little look at that as it stands right now. We'll put it up on the screen. Sufal was in my fantasy football team, as you can see there, and got me a nice, cool 9 points today in that. Nice. Someone here says, all this hype and Scotland bottle it. How embarrassing. What hype are you referring to in relation to Scotland, my bro? There's no hype around Scotland. They're looked at as complete and utter underdogs in these tournaments. One win in the group stages is pretty good for them. If they were to get out of the group stages, these Scottish players become legends. There's a different level of success depending on the nation you're from, your pedigree in the sport, recency as well, in terms of what you've done in the last 20, 30 years. So for Scotland to even be in the equation is good. To win a game in the group stages is brilliant. To get out of the group stages, it's almost unthinkable. So I'm not too sure of the hype. I'm not too sure of the hype around there. Just Looking says, great goal, but Scotland played well. Can't write them off. They just didn't have any clinical edge. And that's true. They didn't today. They didn't today. And there's no point in having all that dominance if you can't put the ball in the back of the net. They created far more chances against the Czech Republic today than England created against Croatia yesterday. But of course, it's different. This was the game that both the Czechs and the Scots tried to win. They both opened up. They both allowed themselves to be a bit more expansive. You will not see the Czech Republic repeat that against England. You will not see Scotland repeat that against England on Friday. If they did, you'd put them to bed. Today was that one game that both Scotland and the Czechs thought they could win. They both went for it. Of course, Scotland, they lost, and the Czechs get those 3 points. And it's all to play for now in this group. And it's absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant as it stands right now. The group looking quite nice, quite tidy here. We'll put it up on the screen for you to see. Yes, how you doing over there, Erling Haaland Muzzy over on Twitch? Hope you're well. Big up yourself. Thank you. If you look here at the groups, let me zoom in a little bit closer. It's probably a little bit easier if I zoom in and we focus on the one group. I'll zoom in one more time, actually. That'll be better. There we go. That's better. You focus on that group there. It's nicely poised. I mean, Czech Republic actually go top on goal difference now, and goal difference is going to be key. See what I said yesterday about Croatia not opening up like crazy? There's 2 games left. Croatia are going to fancy themselves to beat both the Czech Republic and Scotland, and they should. But this is why you don't open up and go crazy in the first game. If Croatia had gone hell for leather and England would have scored another goal or 2 on the counter, which we have had the ability to do, you can find yourself in absolute hot water very, very early on indeed. Very, very early on indeed. A lot of people saying Fabrizio has tweeted, yes, about Tom Heaton. Done deal complete. Here we go. I love how he done a here we go for Tom Heaton, you know, for a little Jadon Sancho thing and negotiations ongoing. Yes, we know all about the negotiations there with Sancho. It's all in hand. Relax about that one. Shay here says, I wish Ireland were at the Euros. Do you know what's crazy about this Euros? It's the easiest Euros to ever qualify for because of the amount of teams that were let in. It was really disappointing to see both the Republic and Northern Ireland miss out. I'd love both to have been there. It would have been great. Roger here says, I thought Scotland were going to take the Euros by storm. Poor football from the Scots. You know what? I would say poor finishing from the Scots. Poor final pass from the Scots, poor decision-making at times in the final third from the Scots. But overall, not a bad display. Overall, not a horrible performance in the cold light of day. I really don't think it was a poor performance in general. You've got to grow from that and bounce back. The problem now comes, though, this is why the second round of games, we're almost upon them, by the way, another day and a bit left, and we're on to the second round of games. The reason the second round of football is so intriguing is because, by the way, another day and a bit left. Sorry about the echo there. The reason the second round of games is so intriguing is because it's that stick or twist moment. You'll find Scotland will look at it and say, do we... if we go 1-0 down against England, or maybe it's 0-0 with 10 minutes to go and we've done really, really well. Do we open up now? Do we go for this? Do we go for the 3 points? Do we go for broke? Is what I don't know, because I haven't checked, and I probably should check this. I'm going to go and look now, is when it comes to Friday's games, who plays first? Well, that's it. Scotland go second. If the Czech Republic win, they're through. They're through. It then puts a lot of pressure on Scotland when they play England. There's that element of, do we attack? Do we go for a draw? And then put all our eggs into the final group game to try and go through? Depends on the scoreline in the game. It could be 0-0, 50, 60 minutes, and there becomes a real gamble there. That's what I love. You get to that second round now, the results start coming in. The excitement is going to sort of increase and increase dramatically. I'm really, really looking forward to it. And listen, definitely poor finishing from them today. Daniel says, Scotland were overrated by some of their club fans. Look, they've got very good fullbacks. They've got some talented players. But, you start looking at finishing is so important. The hardest thing to do in football is score a goal. It's why goal scorers are the most expensive players. It's why they're the most the most paid, and they're of finite quality. There's scarcity in genuine bona fide goal scorers, and Scotland don't have goal scorers. Some of the chances they had today, Harry Kane's, even Calvert-Lewin level strikers are finishing them, and they don't have prolific goal scorers. If they had a goal scorer as good as Robertson is as a fullback, they may have won today, or at the very least got a draw. It changes things massively. Outputs, scoring goals, putting the ball in the back of the net are the most tangible thing, the most important thing in the game, because without them, you never win football matches. You have to be able to score. And most sensible football fans would relinquish a few other attributes that are really good just to have an outstanding goal scorer. You need one. And whether that's an out-and-out number 9, whether that's an inside forward, whether it's a freak of a midfielder that scores like a striker, it doesn't matter. You need someone that can score. Here, you won that. Do me a favor, everybody tuning in, by the way, please smash that like button. If you're brand new to the Football Terrace, make sure you subscribe, turn on the bell notifications. We are here for nearly every single Euros game. I might start it tonight. I might wait till tomorrow. We're going to be starting a brand new Euros review show in the evenings. I've got an idea of how I want to set it up. I don't know. I definitely can't do it if it's raining. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to see if we can do that. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. Let's see here. Let's see what's being said. Scotland need to stop putting lithium in iron brew when playing its football. Okay, fair enough. Maybe I should read these before I put them up sometimes. In my Euro predictor, I have Czech finishing third in the group and reaching the semis. They are a side who are very together and fight as a team. The Scots, though, Scots thought only they were fighters. I hear what you're saying there. Look, Czech Republic are technically... One thing I'd say about clubs from Eastern Europe, no matter how good they are in terms of overall quality, I find them to be... So what I'm looking for here, technically very, very proficient. Very, very, very proficient indeed. There's no doubt about it. Regardless of the size, you've got like the Czech Republic, and I don't know if the Czech Republic is considered Eastern Europe. I'm maybe being a little bit maybe more Central Europe when you think about it. But I start looking at Poland, technically good football players. Romania, they haven't got the greatest sides anymore, but technically proficient. Ukraine, we saw yesterday, they don't have the overall quality, but all their players good. Ball retention, the simpics, the basics are pretty good. You know, a lot of the teams we see, Croatia or another team, again, Croatia probably a bit more Central Europe than they are Eastern Europe, but they just excellent in terms of that. You start going down that whole belt there. You start going down the sort of the Montenegros and sort of the Bosnia and everybody else. Just technically good teams. Slovenia, another side, just really, really good technical football players on the ball. Hungary, some of the greatest football players to ever play have come from Hungary. So there is a kind of Serbia. Again, another one. They're just technically very proficient. They just don't have the amass quality of players, but they're taught very well technically from a young age. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. They don't lose the ball easy. That's exactly it. And do you know what? Ball retention at the highest level of the game, international football, is so important. It's so important. A few people here saying the Czech Republic is close to Poland and Germany. Yeah, I'm not great with geography. I know whereabouts on the map they are. My view is more, I don't actually know what's considered East, Central, or Europe as an example. Obviously, I know we're considered West Europe because there isn't anything else after us. I think Germany are considered Central. So it's whether everything... My view is, if I look at a map, is everything right of Germany, the East, and everything left, West. Maybe I should just Google it and find out. It will tell me probably, but I never thought about it until I started talking then. There we go. Look, I'm going to bring KJ on to have his say with me this afternoon on this match review. But as I say, make sure like buttons are being hit, subscribing to the terrace. KJ is here now. What are you saying, buddy?
I'm not surprised at the result. I thought the Czechs would win. And what a way they did it. That goal from Schick, man. Oh, my Lord. That's goal of the tournament. Goal of the tournament. Signed, sealed, delivered already. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be very hard to beat that. Yarmolenko yesterday had absolutely beautiful goal, but that first time from 50 yards, like, made the goalkeeper scramble in the back of his net. After a Scotland player did a ridiculous shot from 30 yards. Just the whole thing was just beautiful, isn't it? So, yeah, man, like, that was a beautiful goal. And Scotland, there's a lot that need to work on. As I said a lot during the preview stuff, as a collective, how good will they be? And they weren't, when you looked at their performance, they weren't bad, as in like they did some stuff, but defensively the Czechs were better, and offensively the Czechs were better. And if that is Scotland playing well against a Czech Republic side who you would consider ain't the favourites to go in and win it, what are they going to do against the better teams in their group, England and Croatia, who are considered better than Czech Republic?
Yeah, what's going to be interesting is the difference in approach, because they're going to definitely be pragmatic against England. They're going to sit behind the ball. They're going to try and go on the counter. Today reminded me, and I want to be respectful to both sides, but it reminded me of when you watch, say, Wolves play Everton, where they open up more because they both fancy their chances. where if they were playing Croatia, if they were playing England, they are going to be a little bit more close shot. They're going to be a little bit less expansive, more counter-attack play. Sometimes that helps teams because actually you're sometimes up against, you've got a bit more space to run into and stuff like that. But it would be typical England at this tournament now to go and lose to Scotland on Friday.
I can see a draw on the cards in that, because this will be the one game where Scotland are most up for it. They'll probably put in a defensive display like Czech Republic did today, and their goalkeeper will have a masterclass. So I can see them doing that. But overall in the tournament, I don't see them challenging to get out of the group. I just think it's just they're going to be here for a good time, and yeah, that's really about it. If England like turn up, they should be beating Scotland very easily.
Sorry, I just choked on. I just drank some water and it just choked me for a second there. Yeah, we should be. If we lose to Scotland, we should be so embarrassed of ourselves. Like we should, because we are superior, and I'm on a footballing sense. There's no doubt we're superior and whatnot. But I'm really looking forward to it now, because if Scotland had won today, although they always want to beat England at Wembley, they would love to beat us at a major tournament. I think it would have taken something away from the game. I think it would have taken an element of a must win for Scotland. Now for them, I think it's going to open the game up a lot more. I think there'll be a lot more spacing behind. And what I have noticed as well in this tournament is the better games generally have been evening games, when it's a little bit cooler, when it's a little bit, and it's actually going to be a very mild day. I was looking at I never really checked the weather unless I'm going somewhere, but I was looking at it and it looks, I know it's going to rain after Wednesday. It's going to be raining. So I actually think it's going to be fairly mild. Yeah. On Friday, it's going to be like 19 degrees and wet. So it isn't going to be hot. It's going to be in the evening. So England have got a good opportunity here, in my opinion, to try and open up these Scots and give them a bit of a slapping, bro. That's what I want to do.
I feel like this is where Jack Grealish will come in and show his quality. I feel like this is a game for him when the team's going to be compact, the team's going to be really defensive. And if we had a forward line of with Harry Kane, with Grealish, I would say Foden and Sancho, or Mount and Sancho, or Mount and Foden, that right there is, I feel like, is enough technical ability to get past the Scottish players. Because yes, the Czech Republic didn't have many chances as Scotland, but they still have some good chances. And you can see that they're also vulnerable to set pieces. And Gareth loves a set piece. See what I'm saying? So yeah, man. And for those who wondering what shirt I'm wearing, it is RB Leipzig, and someone asked why I'm wearing it, because I can.
Do you know what's like interesting as well about this? I've got a comment here that says Terry is a typical England fan, putting down all the other three home nations. When England get beat, they cry like babies. If they open their eyes, Scotland had the better game, more chances. Simon, you may have tuned in a little bit late. I said that you had the better play. I said you created the most chances. I said you had the most shots. I said you did all those things. I said where you lacked was that clinical edge. I said you didn't play badly. You had gilt-edged chances to score. You hit the post. There was 2 or 3 opportunities where you should have squared it, but you shot. So bad decision-making. I didn't say you had a bad game. I haven't said you were ripped apart and destroyed today. You simply weren't. And in fairness, the second goal they scored was, it's a once-in-a-lifetime goal for Patrik Schick. Like, he's not going to score a goal.
It's a typical tournament goal, as in, like, it's in these tournaments that you see all these wild goals go in. Like, normally in like the league, if you try that in the league, that misses or goes over the bar, or the keeper gets there in time. You know what I'm saying? But tournament football, there's just something about it that just make these magical moments happen. And yeah, like, man, what a goal, man! The fact that you even attempted it, like the audacity, like.
Yeah.
Also, this question: where was the goal? Why was the goalkeeper so far out of his nets? Like, have you seen it from behind the goal and up high? It's like, mate, what are you doing out there? You don't need to be there, man. Like, you're literally almost you're closer to the halfway line than you are to your own goal, man. It was so bad, but again, what a finish, man.
Mate, absolutely. Just a little bit of admin here. I've already emailed everyone that sent me in their phone number. I'm going to post it on the community page now. If you're a legend and superfan member of the Football Terrace. It's just been posted now. The link for the private WhatsApp group that has been created today, as we promised, it would be set up and running. Most people have already joined it. They've been set. If you emailed me up, you've also been emailed a code as well by the official Football Terrace email account. So you've had that sent through to you. So if you want to become part of that group, upgrade yourself now to Legend and member, Legend and Superfan member, and you will then go to our community page and the link is there. You don't need to even send in your phone number. Just connect with that link and get yourself on there. Chris here says, Scotland are washed, is what Chris George has got to say.
I wouldn't say washed because most of the players are pretty young, to be fair. It's not like they're old man playing. Like they're pretty decent age, to be fair. So I wouldn't say they're washed. They're just not that great.
Lincoln's defending the keeper, I think. Don't think he expected that ball, but that's what. Yeah, what? But he
was. So you shouldn't be there then. You know, you shouldn't be there.
In fairness, if a goalkeeper is outside of his box when a player picks up around the halfway line, they invariably try. The reason you don't see that attempt too often is keepers are generally not that far off their line. So he just got carried away. I think what happened, he got sucked out of his goal watching. I think he was watching his team and he got sucked out of his goal. It was really poor from him in relation to that. But your point on the tournament goals, there is. I mean, I always think back to the World Cup in 2014, the two goals that stand out to me massively, of course, James Rodriguez with his volley. And then the next day, Tim Cahill did almost the same goal, where he had the same thing.
Was it that? No. That wasn't that tournament. I don't think it was that tournament.
I swear it was, bruv. I swear it was
there was a tournament where someone scored a volley, and then the next day, Tim Cahill scored the exact same thing. Was it 2010?
I swear, no. It was 2014 because it got nominated for the Puskas Award as well. Yeah, it was literally that's what I loved about it. It was literally the next day, and I guess what I wouldn't even be surprised.
That happened in another tournament, like someone scored a mad volley, and then the next game, Joe Cole scored a volley with his weaker foot as well. Like the next game.
Even the season. Do you remember the season that Olivier Giroud scored the scorpion kick?
Oh yeah, before that, yeah.
Before Mkhitaryan did almost the same thing. And the reason that I was reading, I was at the FIFA Best Awards that year, and I remember asking one of the organizers. We were behind this. We had amazing access that night. I was sitting there behind the stage, right? And there's Idris Elba here. There was this guy there. I was like, oh, this is mad, right? And I was talking to one of the organizers and said, why wasn't Mkhitaryan's goal nominated? And they said, because it was offside. Like it was given, but it was offside. So they discounted it for that reason, which I thought was harsh, but I kind of got where they were coming from really in relation to that. I really did. To do some more of these comments that are coming through here. I want to ask a question, actually. I'm going to pose a question now. I'm going to put it into the live chat feature. By the way, if you're brand new to the Football Terrace, like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications. My question is going to be this. The big question now is, will Scotland make it out of the group? Will they make it out of the group? Will Scotland make it out of the group? That's the poll that's now being put up in your live comment section. Go to that now.
Here in the comments, put in your World Cup or Euros favorite goal from any competition. Because we're talking about it, because James Rodriguez one is my favorite one of all time. Yeah. I remember watching that live, and the way that he just chested it and just volleyed it first time on the turn, absolutely, and he hit the crossbar and did the. It was mad scenes, absolute scenes. Or RVP versus Spain, someone said that was mad. Remember that?
See, yeah, that was amazing. Do you know one you might not remember? Maybe a little bit young. Joe Cole's volley versus Sweden.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about, Terry.
Ah, right. Sorry, I thought you were talking Premier League. Sorry. No. Yeah, that one was amazing. RVP's header was good. Do you know what? Again, I'm biased, but it wasn't like a screamer. But Michael Owen's goal against Argentina was amazing. Do you know the one though? It's World Cup again. We've got to think more Euros. Dennis Bergkamp versus Argentina, where he brought it out of the air. You ever seen that goal?
Oh yeah, he brings it down, and
so many, man, so many good saves.
Tournament goals just hit differently, man. Shaqiri last Euros bicycle kick, man. Like,
yeah, there's so many. Like, do you know what it is? As you said, they hit differently because generally there's so much on that goal. It means so much, and there's so much energy, and it often takes a round or two But by the time we start getting to these second and third games, things increase. Davil Suka, 1996. Yes, yeah, that was a great. The chip. The chip, bro.
Oh, how Robson Carney last Euros with the Cruyff turn. The audacity, that was mad. You know what? One is like iconic just because it was the first game of the tournament. The commentary from Peter Jury. What's his name? Shabala? The South Africa.
Yeah.
The goal was sick, but the commentary with it as well. The vuvuzelas, the atmosphere. Oh, iconic.
Oh, bro, I've got the one though. I've got the one. Van Basten's volley.
I've seen that.
That goal is just, that was one I wanted to see. All the ones we've named so far, I remember watching live. That one is one I've played back. So actually, like, although Van Basten's is the best, I would never vote for it because I have no emotional connection to the goal. It's a bit like with, we speak to younger fans about Ollie. I expect them to respect what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done for Man United, but I don't expect them to love him in the same way I do. I respect like Sir Bobby Charlton, Law, Best, all the players from the era, Harry Gregg, Paddy Kieran, all those players that were so instrumental, Brian Kidd, that were so instrumental in winning us our first European trophy. But I know I just don't have the same emotional connection as I do to a Scholes, as a Beckham, as a Teddy Sheringham or Wayne Rooney, players that I had that emotional experience with. So it's when you're picking best goals, sometimes it's just something, when you witness it, it's like, I saw that.
It's like Hammers against Japan. I think it was Japan. I think his first one where he rounds the keeper, then does a dummy to do a defender and chips it. Like the fact that you get to witness it live, just that shit goal in my head now will forever be there because I watched it. Yarmolenko, same thing. Watched him cut inside, bend it, top bins. All that we need now is for England to have one of those goals, and we're set, man. You know what I mean? It'll be a good summer.
And that's, do you know what? Like we didn't really have one at the World Cup. Well, Jesse Lingard against Panama was pretty good.
Yeah, but again, it's Panama, and it was 4-0 at that point or something.
Yeah, exactly. So it's almost there's two elements you need for these goals. They need to be against decent opposition, and/or a pivotal goal. So an equalizer, a winner, the opener, whatever it may be. Imagine that goal. That goal today is amazing, but if the Czech Republic were 4-0 up and he got the fifth, it wouldn't be as memorable because it's not as decisive in the game. And I always think that's why I always talk about Wayne Rooney's overhead kick as being the greatest ever Premier League goal, because it won a Manchester derby that gave us the point advantage to win the league. The goal in itself was so important, but you throw in the quality of the goal, it makes it the greatest goal ever. And I think that those things really do matter.
But for me, one of the greatest hat tricks I've ever seen was Van Persie versus Aston Villa, because all three goals meant something. I think one of them was to win the league, one of them was to make him top goal scorer, one of them is to all of them, all of the goals meant something, and he was just mad. And obviously you got the volley as well. That was absolutely insane.
That season was amazing as well, because loads of new people have joined the group since we posted that link out earlier as well. So that's really good. Good to see everybody in that WhatsApp group doing your thing. Do you know what as well? That season was mad. I remember going to the last 4 or 5 games of the season. One away game I actually went to, and then the rest were home games that I was at. And it was a song we were singing the whole time. And
versus Argentina. Oh, listen.
Yeah, that was serious.
That was absolutely insane.
That was serious. That was a serious goal. It was the end of that 2013 season made that night with that hat-trick special, because we were singing for about 3 or 4 weeks, having a party on Derby Day. One of the best lines of that song that I still remember making me laugh. I never heard the song until I got to the stadium. People were singing jelly and ice cream on Derby Day. It made me laugh. We actually lost that derby, and then we were just partying every day because we knew we were going to win the league. To be back in that era. Anyway, we digress there. We digress. Are you really rolling around laughing, my days? I don't know what that's in reference to. Fair enough. Cool. Joachim Low is holding back Germany. Listen, No matter what you think about Joachim Low, with him managing Germany, they're always in with a sniff. Always.
You think?
Always got a sniff. Always, always got a sniff.
I can't believe they caught that in 4K. They caught that. Well, it was 1080p back in the day.
It's from one that like both is terrible, right? But it's the one where man's scratching his ass and he's like, "Does my bum smell?" Like, can you imagine? Ah, the thing is, I didn't know that men really do that. I didn't think that was a thing. Do you know what I mean?
They caught him. Imagine wow, I think it was it Wigan? I forgot what Premier League or Cardiff. It was one Premier League game, and they was they panned to the bench for like a couple of seconds, but a player was getting like changed, and he pulled down his shorts, but it wasn't his shorts were the only thing that he pulled down. You got to see what was there. He was just like, wait, what just happened, man? Like, you know, I've been surprised that, you know, because there hasn't been many fans. The cameramen haven't been playing their normal competition. Do you know what that competition is?
Well, find the most beautiful woman they can. They found the lady just before the start of the England game yesterday, who I think was an attractive young lady. But it always makes me laugh how they always look for like what they consider to be like the best looking woman in the stadium. And I remember like it's just, but maybe it's the world's changed now, hasn't it? I think there's an element now. If they did like, I know there's less fans, but if they did like 5 cuts to fans before kickoff, and it was all women that looked a particular way, I think in this era, like that's
most tournaments, you'll just be like the game, like it'd be for a throw-in, and they'll just randomly cut to some girl just standing there waving, and you're just like, why have you chose her? And it's like, why have you chose her, my brother? You know what I mean? Like, we know why.
It's like that. I bet there are some cameramen that were like, "Oh, what games are you covering? I got this, I got that. I got Sweden, Colombia." Do you know what I mean? And celebrate it like on my days. Do you know what I mean? It's gonna be a mad one. But yeah, they always do it. Always mention. But you know, when you're a younger man, it's cool. But you realize, the world changes. Things are different. I was saying last night as well. I learned something last night. I've always referred to the Netherlands as Holland because growing up, even at school, it's Holland. And then the commentator was saying last night that there's 2 peninsulas, I think they refer to it as in what we would call like counties, that they're different counties or peninsulas, and they say they're from Holland, and it's acceptable. But everyone else, wherever else they live in the Netherlands, it's called the Netherlands. So it was like they're basically saying, the commentator just said, and this is 2021, and it's important that we are accurate. And I'm like, that's very, very true. It is important that these things are done.
The language is called Dutch. Why is it called Dutch, but it's not called like
Dutchland?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I don't know. It's it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I never asked. If
anyone from Netherlands or Holland, explain that to me, please, because I've always been curious.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I'm trying to think of any other countries we know that are like that. No, like people either speak. Most languages sound like the name of the country. Belgium obviously doesn't. Belgium, they either speak like Flemish. Flemish is the same. It's like why Flemish? Like what? Why? I'd love to understand it. If anyone knows the real answer to that question, tell us. And I don't want to Google it. I want someone to tell us why that is. Chris, thanks for this comment. We're not putting up. Holland is a province, so kind of like Munster. Okay, no, did I say peninsula? Province was the right word they used last night, so I apologize. So yeah, I get that Holland.
I just remember what a peninsula is.
Yeah, I don't know why it was in my head. Anyway, it's a province. Yeah, I think there are 2 provinces they said on the show that are like Holland and whatever. But obviously, the world for years just called them Holland, and it's one of the ones. But it's the Netherlands. Yeah, there we go. Let's see another. Okay, I love seeing people's comments. Terry, us Turks don't gobble. Yeah, Belgians speak French and Flemish. Do they speak Dutch as well? I suppose they speak Dutch as well. I could be wrong. Or is Flemish very similar to Dutch? That's a legit. It's a legit.
Something here.
Because countries are not always called like their languages or origins. It's people that make the borders so not a given. I understand that. I understand it. But that isn't really the point. The point is, why Dutch? Why is it called like? It must have a reason it's called that. Or maybe it was where it was before it was called the Netherlands. It was called something that was similar to that. Either way, I'd love to know. Like, I'd love to be educated on that. I think, do you know what's interesting? We live in a world where accuracy is important, but we also live in the era where questions offend people. It's like, I just want to understand it. I can't understand it unless I ask a question. Do you know what I mean? So it's like one of them ones. You know, when you talk to, you must have had that situation. You're a cameraman, right? So you get this. You be chatting to someone about your industry. They have no idea what you're talking about, but they like to pretend they do. And they're like, yeah. But you can tell they're lost. It's like, if you don't ask questions, you're always going to be lost in life. So Deutschland. Cool. Thank you. They speak German. So the Germans, this is a dumb question. I don't know. So the Germans don't say Germany. Do they say Deutsch? They do say Deutschland. Hang on. No, I don't know. I'm trying to think back to a chant, right? So there was, the Americans used to chant. No, the Canadians used to chant something at tournaments. I was like, un, deux, trois, Canada. It didn't really rhyme, but that's what they used to do. The Germans used to shout 1, 2, 3, Germany. I suppose, I don't know what 3 in Germany is. That doesn't remember Deutschland. It's interesting. I don't know. I'm learning stuff today. I'm enjoying it. Deutschland, they say. Yeah, they do. Anyway.
Apparently, Cornelius says Dutch is an English term for Germany and the Netherlands together. Interesting.
That's interesting. Oh, is it in like Deutschland? Is that like an abbreviate? Is that taken from there? I don't know. See, do you know what I could do? I listen to. I'm so old and boring now. I could listen to like a 2 or 3 hour podcast all about nations, language, origin, where it came. I love that sort of stuff. I love learning about it. When I go on holidays now, it's like, what can I learn? Like, I'm just not going to sit on the beach for a week. I'm going to go do some historic stuff, learn things. I think that's important. Yeah, Zaza, I hear you on that, bro. I hear you on that, my guy. James here says Czech Republic is half West Europe and half East. I'm gonna call it Central then, bro. I'd call that Central. I don't know. Like, do you know what I mean? But I hear you, but I'm like, cool, that makes sense. Yeah, you gotta ask these questions. This is better than school. Yeah, do you know the thing is, I probably got told at school, but I just didn't. I wish I could go back to school now and I knew I was dyslexic from a young age, because I would have. See, I used to have I had a really good geography teacher and she left, and I had a bad one. And she used to make me get up and read on purpose, knowing that I struggled with it. So I used to get sent out to class on purpose so I didn't get made to read. It was a vicious cycle.
All right, vicious, very vicious. You know, talking about countries and origins and all that. You remember yesterday, Arnautovic was going on a mad one. Absolute mad one for his celebration, and freaking Alaba was like holding his mouth, telling him to shut up. Apparently, he was just cussing Albania.
Fucking hell!
Apparently, he was just cussing Albania for some reason.
I assume that's where his origin is. Do you know? It's the world that we live in now. There's lots of people that play for European countries who stem from places like Albania and Bosnia and places like that. Like, Ibrahimovic is a prime example. Arnautovic is another. Granit Xhaka, Shaqiri, and some kind of show love and affection for the country of origin. Others, and Arnautovic is clearly doing that, seems to maybe he's Bosnian though. Maybe it's because of what I don't know. But yeah, it's intriguing to see the kind of reaction to it now. When I was a kid though, I never used to look at it like that. It was just, who does Arnautovic play for? And you'd see Austria. I just say he's Austrian. But as you grow older, you learn and whatnot. Someone will probably tell me now that he's not Albanian. Is he from Kosovo? Okay, that makes sense. Then that makes sense. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to get into things.
Yeah, literally, I was just like, because I'm in a vibe. It's like, who is he beefing? You know what I mean? Like, he's just beefing. Why is he beefing people for no reason? And apparently he come out and said, I need to get this up because someone sent me the image. I think it was Cam. He basically said, "I'm not racist though." Like, he was cussing Albania, but he was just like, "Oh yeah, by the way, people, I am not racist, by the way." Like, yeah, he said,
yeah.
So he literally just said, "I am not racist" after he went on an allegedly, he went on an alleged anti-Albanian rant after scoring against North Macedonia.
Yeah, listen, I didn't know that. Again, I haven't really taken the time to learn, where his country of origin is. So when you said he's beefing Albania, when you said that, I sat here and assumed, oh, maybe that's where his father was born and they've been abusing him for not playing for his country.
Yeah.
And he said something. Turns out not so much. He's actually backing his country of sort of origin and his roots, and he's having a go at his story. Because, yeah, obviously that part of the world, conflict for many, many years, lots of issues. I remember like working in the banks in East London, and obviously we had lots of people that used to bank with us from all different parts of Eastern Europe. And we used to have it in the branch. We employed a couple of ladies. We had a wonderful woman that worked for us called Ivona, who was Polish. Certain people from certain countries, sort of from Eastern Europe, would not want to be served by her. Because we used to have like little flags on the badges, not for where you were from, but what languages people could speak. And people were like, they'd see her surname, like, don't want to be served by her. Like 100, just point blank. And it was like why? Just don't, because of where she's from and whatever. And even then, like we had a Romanian lady that worked for us, and most people, I felt so sorry for her, because most people from Eastern European countries outside of Romania didn't want to be seen by her. It was like, wow, like world's deep. She's lovely. She's a good woman. Paul Ross here says, Terry, the poll is useless because it's like saying AJ will lose to an amateur boxer in a boxing match. Everyone knows Scotland are shit. No, they won't make it. Can you imagine if they face Croatia and England? Mate, listen, Paul, I do back you, bruv. I don't think they'll get out of it. There we go. Zaza said he's Serbian. They don't like the Albanians. Okay, fair enough. Now we learn.
There's the super chat there. Yeah, because what do you call it? Shaqiri and Xhaka did the whole Eagle celebration against Serbia. And then that got them fined for doing that. Remember that?
Yes, they did. Yeah. Man. I don't like to get involved. It's one of them where I like to listen and then just sit there and like I'm a kid listening to my grandfather speaking it. Just, you know what I mean? It's like I'm just going to listen to what's going on. Okay, we've had that one there. Holland is Rotterdam and Amsterdam. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, Bosnia has 3 ethnic groups. I want to pronounce that. Is that Bosniaks, Croats, and Serbs? They're like a mini Yugoslavia. Okay, there we go. I should probably learn about this.
Apparently, Yugoslavia back in the day was a sick football team.
Oh yeah, bro. But that's why I said earlier. If you think about
those countries that make up that, well, apparently they were sick.
Well, they were very, very good, Yugoslavia, and that's if you think about it now. I know they won't want to because independence is very, very important for nations. But if you were to take the best, and I don't actually know what countries it's actually search, but I'm not causing offense here. So I'm going to click on Yugoslavia, work out who was in there. Well, Belgrade was the capital, so clearly that helps. Let me click on this now. I don't know what nations were in it, and I'm trying to find out now. I just want to find a short list. Okay, so you had Bosnia and how do you pronounce it? Bosnia and Hertz. Yeah. Croatia, Macedonia, Montenegro, Serbia, Slovenia. They're all the ones, right?
Listen to those countries, yeah, and think of the players that they've got.
That's what I was going to say. If you took the best from all those countries and made one team, even in this modern day era, that would have been a crazily good side. Like, there's no doubt about it. It really, really would have done. And do you know what's also amazing about that part of the world? Like, again, it gets such a bad reputation because of, again, as kids growing up, all we ever saw was the problems, the wars, the civil wars, and the issues that were going on. But I had a friend who went to Croatia on holiday, and I thought, okay, great. And he come back, showed me the pictures, mad beautiful. And I'm pretty sure the rest, I lived next door. The last house I lived in East London, I lived next door to this Bulgarian family. And they were showing me like where they were from, the beaches. And I was like, bro, I said, I know they moved here, like, better their lives, earn more money and everything else, which is great. But I was looking at it and they're like, oh, we've still kept our house. We go home for the summer months. And I was like, listen, that looks just amazing. Like, but you just don't think that because there's always a certain image that you have sort of projected into your head on these types of things, I think, which is unfortunate. Terry, I had a friend. It's true. I did. I say a friend, they're my next door neighbors. But when you grow up where I grew up, bro, in the East End of London, you meet people from all walks of life. One of my old clients was an interesting mix. He was half Scottish and half Albanian. And yeah, his life was mad. Like, he grew up for the first 5 years of his life in Scotland and then moved to Albania. And then at 21 moved back. Yeah, he told me some stuff. Just different world. Man, like Slend, what you saying, bro? Says yes, Dankovic and them, man. Honestly, there's so many good players that come out of that region of football. It's unbelievable. But you know what I mean? It's listen, they want that independence. But there's even been more, because I swear it wasn't even that many years ago that Serbia and Montenegro were one side. That couldn't have been that long ago, I don't think. In terms of those two countries still playing with one another. I'm looking now because I'm intrigued to know when that became independent in that way. I don't know. I swear they were playing as a football team together not that long ago. But I could be wrong. Baltic is the most beautiful part of Europe, and also Italy on the south. Yeah, I'm sure it is. It's just one of those places, you know, obviously for a long time, people weren't going to go and visit places like that on holiday because of what was going on within within those countries. And there's always beautiful, but the same thing could probably be said for a lot of the countries within Africa. You'll probably find there are lots of parts which are absolutely gorgeous. You think of the coverage of the earth it has. It's going to have all different types of terrain and rainforest and beach and mountains. There's probably all sorts of parts that are absolutely out of this world that no one knows are amazing because we don't get shown that part. Do you get what I mean? And I think that's one thing about traveling which is important. Terry Varane has apparently decided to join PSG. Slen's coming with the bad news.
No, not really bad news. It's just they want a surprise.
I thought that was going to happen. I thought that was going to end up happening. And it's interesting, actually, how in the last few days, Chelsea's links to Jules Koundé have started to rise again. And maybe that was in preparation for knowing that this was going to happen. Thank you, Slens, for that update, my guy. Appreciate that, brother. Listen, everyone who's tuned in today, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. Smash the like button, hit the share button. We have a small transfer video coming up just after 5 o'clock regarding Kieran Trippier, maybe even Raphael Varane. I'm going to have a little read about that and see what's going on. Make sure you hit that like and that share button. Until next time, take care, goodbye, God bless, and we'll see you all again soon.